I have a feeling that Josh Cho's win last week may have influenced that somewhat.
Partial influence.
Yeah.
Master of the Pearl Trident is the big enabler that's kind of created this renaissance.
It seems to have reminded people that Merfolk is around. I've actually been having a little bit of a conversation, or just some back and forth on Twitter about Merfolk being actually bad, but people aren't playing the right cards to make it, you know.
Huey Jensen played Merfolk today and was not successful.
Joe Rittner on Blue White Miracles. This is a deck I've been playing a bit in Legacy, and it's not far off from what I can tell. It's not far off from my list.
So is this the non-basic land version?
What do you mean the
not
non-basic?
the land tax version.
Oh no, the non-land tax version. Yeah, I don't see land tax here. So he leads with the turn 1 Sensei's Divining Top, which is a awesome opening for the deck. Just really sets everything up.
So Evan didn't play his Curse Catcher on the first turn.
He did not.
To hold back for Spell Pierce. I think that I would have played the Curse Catcher. It's basically a spell, you know?
Yeah, and also, like, unless Rittner lands Counterbalance there, which I guess is what he was worried about,
I mean, the
he's
Curse
not going to
Catcher
play. The Curse Catcher can deal with that too, yeah. So, but then again, Evan doesn't know exactly what he's facing, although the top should have given him some idea. So there's top happening there, being activated at the end of Evan's turn after he does play the Curse Catcher and still holds back for Spell Pierce. So Merfolk, it's basically mono blue aggro with a bunch of lords. That's the general idea of it. You have some counter spells to protect your win conditions to keep any kind of trouble off the table.
Curse Catcher cannot counterbalance. So
it's just instants or sorceries. Okay, I just thought it was non-creature. Sorry. So yeah, there you go. Thank you for looking that up and mentioning that. But yeah, still, like, I guess that's what he was afraid of, was a counterbalance. So, but on the other side, Miracles, and again, this is kind of similar to the version I've been playing. You've got Counterbalance top, which is a nice lock already. You've got Jace the Mind Sculptor to help out with the, keeping the top of your library the way you want it set up. And, why not just throw in a couple of Miracles?
Yeah, obviously, these cards are very powerful with the Miracles.
Very powerful with Miracles. So you have Entreat the Angels as a major win condition. You have 4 Terminus.
Here comes that Counterbalance.
Yeah, so there's Counterbalance, and now Evan can Spell Pierce this.
He's got to Spell Pierce it, right?
Yeah, and Rittner has 1 mana up, and I saw Force of Will blue card. He may have a Spell Pierce of his own. I don't know if he plays Spell Pierce.
So Rittner is going to go for Force of Will.
So Force removing Brainstorm.
Curse Catcher
Curse Catcher can catch the Force of Will here.
But what will that accomplish? Rittner will just pay the island, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure what that accomplished.
Yeah, for some reason I thought Rittner was tapped out after that Force of Will.
Because, now Evan's lost his clock against Counterbalance top, right?
Yeah, that was actually kind of rough. Well, he's going to go ahead and what it did do was force a blind flip because Rittner had no way of activating the top.
Got it.
Actually, Rittner had looked at the top few cards, so he probably knew that there was a land there.
Rittner's deck is not thick with 3s, though. He's got 1 Trinket Mage
and 2 Vendilion Click.
So.
And Entreat the Angels actually is a 3.
Is it?
Yes. So it's still the least likely one, but it's also not. In Legacy, you tend to see a lot of 1s and 2s.
It's actually more likely in either Trinket Mage or Vendilion Click, 1Z and 2Z, V3Z.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like so there's 6 opportunities for him to flip a 3 on top.
I'm wondering why Evan sacrificed the Curse Catcher though, because he didn't actually get a card. Like, it would be one thing if he were forcing him to force again or something.
Yeah.
He just made him tap land. I guess he was exchanging the Curse Catcher for perhaps a guarantee at resolving.
Maybe not a guarantee, but a kind of a little bit, like, I guess, a better chance of resolving a Reedry. So, he's like, he can't activate top in response to my 3. So hopefully I can get the Rejury into play, and that's a better clock than Curse Catcher, because if he hadn't used Curse Catcher, and there's a 3 in there, so now basically what he could do is have a Curse Catcher instead of a Rejury, which may have been countered by the counterbalance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think Evan should activate the Mutavault for 3/3 and try to get in for 5.
I think that's perfectly. I think that's a perfect line of play for this situation. Yeah.
Ooh, Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Yeah, and there's a
Vendilion
3.
play.
So you see Jace click and land.
You don't see a lot of these cards in standard play.
No, you don't. Which is why I like Legacy.
I like
so
Jace
much.
the Mind Sculptor.
I do too. Coming soon to a modern format near you.
Is
I
it?
hope. I don't know. I hope. I don't see why he's not in modern.
Seems
I don't.
like
I think he was fine for standard. The problem was Titans made Vengevines and the things that would contain Jace not playable, and so it made it like Jace was the bad guy. But really, it was Titans. I blame Titans for a lot. So. That's my opinion. So fetch land for Joe Rittner can refresh the top of his library, and that looks like what he's going to do. See, it's interesting here because Evan does have pretty fast clock here, 5 a turn.
Yeah, it's like 2 turns, right?
Yeah, roughly at this point it's 3, but
I mean, there's going to be sack lands. There's going to be
exactly.
maybe Force
It's
of Will
more likely a
activation.
2-turn thing, depending on.
I mean, obviously
what
Joe
happens.
can control that, but it's about 2.
Yeah. So he is digging for something like a Terminus, and he finds Counterbalance top on the top of his library. He's already got enough of those.
Jace is actually
Quite an adequate solution to most creature-based attacks, right?
Sure. So he can play Jace and bounce the. He could bounce the Rejury, and then it would die to Mutavault. It would be a 2/2 Mutavault, but Jace would only have 2 counters.
I'm wondering, like, so if Joe plays Jace, I think if I'm Evan, I'd probably just Spell Pierce Jace, force him to flip the top, right? Maybe you'd Force a Will.
Well, there's Jace, and Evan's going to go ahead and try
With the Spell Pierce.
Force of Will, removing Spell Pierce, and that works. So Jace is countered. Rittner's tapped out.
So
Going to go to 6 here.
Evan can play the Lord.
And see
Well,
what
he gets
happens
a
here.
tap,
Counterbalance.
tapper on tap.
Counterbalance counters the Lord of Atlantis.
Well, doesn't he get a tapper on tap whether or not it gets countered?
Yeah, I think he does because he played a Merfolk.
Yeah, so
But he didn't do it.
like he could have like tapped his Mutavault for mana and then played the Lord, untapped the Mutavault.
Yeah, I mean, is he getting the mana? Like, what's he going to use the mana for? I guess that's what it all comes down to. If he could use it, then yeah,
I mean,
that would have been a good.
It's better than
thing.
looking tapped out, right?
True.
Just one man's opinion.
No, I get you.
But I think Joe might just die to this onslaught of little fellas.
In which case, the difference between having that Rejury or having the Curse Catcher is huge.
But there's no guarantee that the Rejury would not have
you're right.
resolved.
You're right. You're right. But I'm just saying, like, Evan didn't know. We don't even know that. We don't even know what was.
You're
within the top
talking
3.
about playing on somebody who has 1 mana open. Like if you can't Spell Pierce or Rejury, right?
Right. And it looks like Evan Erwin takes game 1.
Superb.
Yeah, I just think that he was taking a gamble, but he was trying to keep it so that, I mean, this is me theoretically.
So you're thinking
I'm
he's
thinking,
defending against the divining top here.
Right, he's basically saying, I'm not going to let you activate top, and I'm going to take a chance that you don't have a 3 on top because you're more likely to have a 1 or a 2. You're going to have to blind flip.
Oh, just blind flipping the 3.
Yeah, you're just going to have to blind flip my Rejury. And if you get me, you get me. You know, take a gamble. You get me, whatever. But if you don't get me, I have a 2-power dude that makes my Mutavault a 3-power dude. Otherwise, I've just got a 1-power dude that. So it's a difference of 2
I can understand
power.
where you're coming from. If
And
that's what he
the
was
clock
thinking.
would have changed, and who knows? Rittner may have eventually just found an Entreat the Angels or something, or well, first a Terminus maybe, and
So
you never know. You know, just how
Evan's
it could have
got
gone.
Relic of Progenitus. Is that particularly good in this matchup?
Not really. I mean, no.
Tormod's Crypt, same.
Yeah, he doesn't need.
But I mean, I don't know. Does he really
doesn't
want
need
these
any
dismembers?
graveyard hate.
It's 2 dismembers that he drew one of them, kind of crappy.
No, dismember's not good either. He wants the dismembers out.
I mean, do you think Great Glass Spinner? Does Rittner have a lot of targeted removal?
That's what I'm looking for. He does have 4 Swords to Plowshares, so I can
and
see
Jace actually.
and Jace, yeah. So he could, I could see him bringing those in because the dismembers are like pretty awful.
I think
They could kill like a Vendilion Click or an Angel.
possibly Jete. You think Jete
I mean,
maybe?
I don't even know if Jite is worth bringing in. It's always seems good, right? But I don't think.
I mean, it's not a horrible card, but I think Dismember is a fairly horrible card.
Yeah. How many dismembers does he play? 2.
I mean, Relic of Progenitus is at least a cantrip.
Yeah, I think he can bring in Kira. I think he can bring in Phantasmal Image just as extra lords. You know what I mean? It's not a. I mean, just to copy his lords, a Phantasmal Image. I don't know. I'm looking because I'm looking what he's taking out. He's taking out the
Dismember is the weakest card.
Yeah.
I would rather have Kira than Phantasmal Image in my personal opinion.
For some reason, I thought he had like all sorts of room. It's just he's got the 2 dismembers that he wants to take out, for sure. Yeah,
Especially,
bring in the Kira.
I think that Joe's probably going to bring in Pad to Exile. Joe does not have any kind of a Peacekeeper.
No.
Like I think Peacekeeper is very good against Merfolk if they don't have their dismembers in.
Little written in card here.
So I think I would vote for -2 Dismember +2 Kira.
That's my. I like that too. Just go with that. What did he scratch out here? It was a Spell Pierce, an additional Spell Pierce in the board that he removed. It looks like he maybe had 3 Tormod's Crypts and a Spell Pierce, and now he changed it to 2 Tormod's Crypts, no Spell Pierce, and added in 2 Merfolk Assassin at the end there.
I really like Spell Pierce personally.
Yeah, I mean I love it as a card.
I've played it quite a bit in a variety of decks.
Yeah, that would be a card that he could bring in here if he had it, but he does not. And yeah, Rittner brings in Path to Exile.
Yeah, that's why Kira's good, I think. He's going to bring in point removal.
Right.
I actually think Timely Reinforcements might be pretty good.
I was thinking that as well.
What do you think about Fettergeist? You think? I guess he's got Island Walk, so maybe Fettergeist is going to do a lot less than it does anymore.
Yeah.
Banishing Stroke I could see, maybe.
Yeah, it's an extra bit of removal, and it's it's another miracle.
First Catcher always confuses me. When we were first testing, what is it, Shadowmoor that's in?
I think so.
I was testing, like, proxied cards with Josh Ravitz, and we kept, like, curse catching each other's Tarmogoyf, so we thought it was just more spike on a dude. So that's why I'm confusing the counterbalance. I'm like, and then, like, when we found out, like, man, this curse catcher is really good. How many Tarmogoyfs are? I'm like, is it right to play your Tarmogoyf into the curse catcher? Like, I don't know. I think you got to get your mana on.
Yeah, that's an awkward conversation. Like,
the later we found out the curse catcher
you're
doesn't
like,
actually kill.
Oh.
Our Merfolk deck had a very high win percentage.
Yeah, I bet. So apparently there is a Doomsday deck here. I'm looking through Twitter a little bit. Evan was watching it. Very similar to a deck that Stephen Menendian played in Columbus a couple of months ago. That made me laugh. Stephen Wise on Twitter. He thinks that Mr. Orange should tap his opponent's cards so he won't have to.
I must say, I never really understood that tagline.
It doesn't have to make sense
No?
when it's said with that amount of enthusiasm. And Evan is an enthusiast.
He is. I mean, Evan is among the most enthusiastic.
All right, Evan's looking at his 7. Tilts his head. Not sure. He's laughing now. But I think Evan would laugh whether his hand was good or bad.
Evan
Evan's
is
a jolly fella.
I think he's generally happy at life.
Yeah.
All right. 2 Force of Wills for Evan, is that right? Is that Master of the Pearl Trident?
I believe so, yeah.
Daze, Kira, 2 lands? Is
Yeah,
that
it looks
2
like
lands?
it.
But he can't cast anything.
Good read on Kira. I couldn't tell from that little corner.
But I don't think Evan can cast a single spell.
No.
That's Mutavault and Wasteland.
And Wasteland.
Right?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awful. He
that
can cast
one's-
Force of Will.
That one's going somewhere else.
I think it's an awkward conversation. Someone told me it's not an awkward conversation. I think it's awkward to find out Curse Catcher doesn't counter creatures. So Evan keeps, and he has Force of Will, removing Kira to counter the first turn Sensei's Divining Top, and Rittner's going to counter
I
back.
think he'll force back.
Force removing Brainstorm, and Evan's going to. This is a huge counter where removes Master of the Pearl Trident, and looks like Divining Top is countered. Medina says he'd keep it. He'd keep that hand. Well, Evan's made good use of all those blue cards.
I think
Wasteland.
if you're Rittner, you probably don't know that Evan is strapped for resources, right?
No, not at all.
He's
Not at
just
all.
like running the beat down.
Yeah.
Does Evan have another
So,
Wasteland?
no,
is
that's
that-
Mutavault. He's got Mutavault Daze and Reedry. And he draws Island off the top. So now both players with an island in play.
It's going to be exciting. Did Rittner just pass? I believe Rittner just passed. Or thinking about passing?
Yeah, I don't think he passed because I think Evan would have been.
Oh, yeah, it
moving
seemed like
quite
he
a
was
bit more.
nudging a pass.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
There's a flooded strand.
I mean, he's got to try to jam the counterbalance here if that's what he's going to do, right? No? Okay. Is that another
Mutavault,
daze?
go.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Evan's going to
another
get the
daze.
Sicky 6 double days.
He has absolutely no pressure, but now he's got Mutavault, so he can.
He's got the rub it up days.
He can follow up all these counter spells with some manland beats.
So Evan's going to swing in. Rittner's going to do something. He'll like daze, replay his island. So, especially on a missed land drop, I think Evan's got a, because Evan has not signaled that he is shy on land. He's hit all of his land drops, right?
I think so. I think it was because he went Wasteland and then Island and then Mutavault. Didn't quite catch what he drew. I was trying to tell, but I couldn't see. Alright, he's gonna tap a Mutavault for an Aether Vial. That's what I didn't see, and it was foily, so no wonder I couldn't recognize it. I thought it was a blue card. Aether Vial, go.
I mean, those counterbalances
Don't do
no
much
longer
against
do
Aether
anything.
And Rittner top decks Force of Will just in time,
Just in
to
time.
have seen an Aether Vial resolve right beforehand.
Is that
Late to the party,
That's
I
a spell skite, isn't it?
I don't think so. I never saw Spellskite. No. He has, I think Rittner has Force, Plow, Counterbalance, potentially an Entreat.
Evan's just gonna take his sweet time. I think he should probably bring it with the Mutavault here.
Yep,
I
that's
would.
what he does.
Boom.
Rittner has some sort of response here. I presume he's going to get either a Plains
Probably
or
a plains
a
of some
Tundra.
sort. I would guess Tundra.
Goes with the Tundra. It's weird, yeah. Like I guess he has to get Tundra because he has like Counterbalance in his hand, and it's just scary because he's already obviously short on lands, and he's got a land in play that Evan could just destroy with a Wasteland.
Another.
And there's a Plow for the Mutavault,
He's gonna daze it.
and a Daze for the Plow. And Joe says, "All right, I'll pay for the Daze."
Daze again.
I'll Daze.
Now,
it again.
is Joe willing to Force of Will?
He's
He
gonna, yeah.
is. Wow,
Force
this
removing
game.
Counterbalance, man. These guys, have been. I've never seen this many Hymn to Torox in a deck with in a match with no black mana.
So basically, Evan spent 2 dazes to draw out a Force,
And a Counterbalance.
a Counterbalance, and a Plow.
Yeah, and he just top decked another plow, and he
gonna
also
play
had another
counterbalance.
counterbalance available.
What
And
is that?
so-
What is that card that I thought was
It's in
spell
treat.
stuck?
I'm
It's
pretty
in
sure.
treat.
That's in treat. Yeah.
Okay.
He slowed down enough for me to actually see it this time.
Stand still. Uh-oh. What's on top?
Yeah, this is
Come on, Joe. What's on top?
not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it. Uh-oh.
And Evan says go.
Wow. Stand still.
Vial on
Vile. This is a disaster for Joe Rittner. And Evan kept that hand that couldn't cast a single spell.
2. Yeah. He just had all the
I mean,
counter
I-
spells
I-
and then drew more.
I apologize. He could cast lots of spells.
Yeah, I guess when you have cards like Force of Will. And he draws another Mutavault. Perfect. I mean, unless he had it in his hand, but still. Has another Mutavault
What's Evan's
right
last card?
after a standstill. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. He's got a Manland standstill.
Do you remember that deck, Bulletproof Monks?
Sounds vaguely familiar.
It was like Nantuko Monastery Standstill. When that was like the best man land in Standard. Like you had to play
I do
white and
remember
green in
that,
your
yeah.
blue deck for
I
Nantuko
do
Monastery.
remember that. It's funny. I forgot all about that.
Joe, I'll crack. All right.
Engineered explosives. For one.
One.
Standstill breaks.
1, 2, 3. What is it? Master of the Pearl Trident
Standstill.
and
Didn't catch the other card. It looks like Spell Pierce.
Wow. Oh, but you know, Joe's probably going to be able to brainstorm to counterspell that. Wait, doesn't he have a brainstorm?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's responding. Okay, I got it. 1, 2, 3. I mean, Joe can easily put like
Yeah.
a brainstorm or Source of Plowshares
Yep.
on top.
So that will counter the Spell Pierce. Puts a Brainstorm on top. Counters the Spell Pierce. Engineer Explosives on 1.
So Evan's going to end of turn.
Rejury here.
Rejury.
Tapping the cards.
If he draws a land, that will be ideal, right? Because then he can get in with both Mutavault and play Standstill. It's probably enough to just play Standstill here, I think. What's his other card? I want to say it's Grand Arbiter, but that's not in his deck, is
No,
it?
it's hard. He keeps flipping. It's hard to tell. What card is that?
Oh, it's Silvergill Adept.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was.
okay.
Oh yeah, when he stopped, there it is. For some reason, when he was flipping it, I thought that for a second. I was like, no. But yeah, it is.
This is not the time to get greedy. I think you want to just play Standstill here. Yep, correct. In for 2. I mean, because he's punishing Joe so badly. Joe's going to spend all of his land next turn just to kill the Aether Vial.
Right.
Right? So, like, and then he's behind the Standstill again. Like, you can't do that every turn. Like, that's not a viable strategy against a deck that's more active than you are.
Yep.
Like, it's potentially a viable strategy against another sit there deck, but not against a deck that's playing 3 cards a turn. All right. So this has turned out to be a really interesting game from what didn't look initially like
No, not at
Evan was
all.
even going to have any play. Seems like he's quite a bit ahead now. So Sayonara to Aether Vial.
Yep. Rittner does have another land pad to the board. So at 15, not
You think he's
too
just gonna-
dangerous territory yet, but he's going to start taking 5 a turn if he doesn't stop the onslaught of fish.
I think Standstill's only U and 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Might it have been better for Evan to tap the Mutavault rather than the second island to cast it, so that when his Standstill triggers, he could potentially get a Spell Pierce, something like that, maybe.
Mhm. Yeah, you're right. Actually, that would have been a
I think
better
that
way to
would
set
have
it
been
up.
given a little
Because
bit more flexibility.
right now, Rittner can go ahead and break the
Spot
standstill,
sharing.
which is what he's going to do, and Evan's going to have like a force of will or something to.
if he wants to keep his
If he,
guy.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if he wants to counter that, he's going to need something like force of will or daze, something that requires him to It doesn't require him to have actual blue
One.
mana.
So
I think it was a Master, a Wasteland, and a Lord of Atlantis.
So it looks like Rijuri's dead.
Yeah.
Gain a little life. Evan's probably gonna Wasteland him next turn, right?
Waste the Tundra,
I would
attack with
guess.
Mutavault.
I think Waste the Tundra, like play Pearl Pride. or
Okay.
something. So, like, I think he needs to keep putting Rittner in a position where he has to react to a value card with no additional value. Like every single exchange, Evan's gotten ahead, right? He's gotten ahead on gaining a little life, on giving up cards, etc. Like Rittner hasn't had a clean exchange yet. Even the ones where Evans had to force a will, Rittner's had to force a will back, or the double days Rittner had to force a will. And you can tell by the relative card counts at this point. So
And
I think I'd play
Lord of
instead
Atlantis.
of Master. Because it's the crappier one.
Yeah. And are we going to see a blind flip off the counterbalance, I suppose?
We are ready to go. Please come up to the side of the stage. Once again, Commander Pod, number 1, coming up to the side of the stage.
So we didn't see what it was, right?
I don't think he flipped. I think he just knew what it was.
I think
He did brainstorm. Yeah, he had
That's
put the
Entreat.
Entreat on top. Okay.
Plowshares again.
Swords, you dude.
Yeah, see, like this whole 1-for-1 strats is not going to do very much if Evan keeps gaining extra cards.
Yeah, the fact though, like, I mean, obviously he had to get that Tundra before, but
I think
it's
that was the right
awkward.
play.
Yeah, I think it was too. It's just what I'm saying is like he's got 2 lands and he's got Entreat the Angels sitting there waiting to make a guy, and it's like he can't because he has no land.
I think you lead on Master here. Oh, he has Coral Helm Commander. I think you lead on Master. See what happens. It's really just a question is if you get hit by the blind flip. Oh, it's not a blind flip now. He has untapped island with a brainstorm in his hand.
Yeah.
All right, so fair likelihood that this is dead then.
Yeah, I was just looking at the artwork on Entreat. It is definitely what Rittner has.
I mean, I think Joe Rittner should probably cast Brainstorm right now. Seems like
Yeah.
a reasonable decision.
Yeah.
No, he didn't
He
Brainstorm.
did not That's weird. I'm kind of surprised.
I think if I'm Evan in that spot, I would have cast Silvergill Adept actually instead of attacking.
Yeah.
I guess he doesn't want to play into Terminus.
That's true, yeah. Alright. Flooded Strand from Rittner. A lot of tanking here.
I think Rittner's trying to get into a spot actually where he can Brainstorm the Entreat on top of his deck and just like Broodmate for a small number.
Well, at this point now, he can entreat for 1 guy, like if he miracles it. If he,
Yeah.
right. With this amount of lands, he can
But-
finally get a dude.
But Evan's guys have Island Walk, don't they?
Yeah, so that's he got a plane, so he is gearing up for the potential Sarah Angel.
Yeah, I think that's obviously a line that you might want to take. I'm not sure. I think I would have gotten Tundra though.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I don't know that I like the brainstorm here.
well.
Never found a top and a terminus. Jeez.
I
Well.
think this game is gonna turn around once again, Joseph.
It looks like it could. I mean, that's what the Miracle deck does. So he can keep the top.
I mean, he's
Assemble
gonna
that.
He's gonna flip top Terminus.
He
Evan
can
during
flip top
combat next
terminus
turn.
too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's gonna keep. He kept top and island, right? So he's gonna go ahead and play the top.
Did he play a land yet?
Yeah, he played the Flooded Strand. Pass back. Now he can flip top and terminus at any point when he's ready.
So
So, I mean, this is too tempting for Evan. I'm fairly certain Evan's going to send both of his guys into the terminus here.
Which is what he's doing as
Yep.
you speak.
Yeah. You think Joe takes the 5?
Rittner, I wouldn't think so.
I think if I'm Joe, I take the 5.
Take
let
the 5
Evan
and
play
let him
another
play
guy
another
and
guy
then
and then
terminus him.
terminus?
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like that's what's happening here.
Yeah. Eat 5. Like, I think Evan's
He's just trying to get another guy out of it.
Yeah, I think Evan's going to play Silvergill.
Yeah, so what happens is Evan plays Silvergill Adept, draws a Force of Will, Rittner goes to Terminus, and Evan has Force of Will.
He can do the terminus in response to the draw.
That's true.
Yep, here's Silvergill.
Silver Gilmore girl. That's not good.
Respond to the draw, Joe.
No, didn't respond to the draw.
Respond to the draw.
He drew Aether Vial, did not draw Force of Will. So.
Well, is he just...
Okay. Not something I
The
expected.
reason I grandly dislike that play is he's just lost the ability to hit the Mutavault. Because the Mutavault's already on board.
Right. I don't know why he did that. Like, you have Miracles on top of your deck. You have it set up to where you can clear the board and then soon entreat and start swinging. Meanwhile, Evan's actually got a handful of guys, so even...
Well, I mean, this is lethal, so he's going to have to...
Well, he has to terminus.
He has
here,
to
yeah.
terminus. So he's at 6. They have Island Walk. So there's like no fancy dancy like flip up my top, make 2 Sarah Angels. That's not good enough. They have Island
Evan's
Walk.
Evan's playing another guy. I want it to
Evan's
be
got
real
all
lethal.
the merfolk. What is he thinking right now? Like, what?
I think this board needs another Merfolk Lord.
Evan Erwin. That was unnecessary. Right now, Evan's thinking, oh, he was tapping the cards, so I didn't have to.
That was an enthusiastic play right there. He enthusiastically played right into a terminus.
The pendulum has swung the other way.
No, but still Evan's got a handful of cards.
It doesn't, none of them will resolve.
Technicality.
Have you read the cards since his divining top?
Details.
Have you looked at the casting costs on Evan's side?
He does have that, which will
Really? There's
not
a Sensei's
resolve.
divining top on the table. What do we got here? 1, 2, 3. All right, Joe has to flip top because if the Aether Vial resolve. Oh, sorry, I didn't see the spell pairs. Evan's got to try it. Oh, does he have a Rejury?
Believe so, but there's Entreat on the top.
He doesn't know about the Entreat, does he?
No, he doesn't, but I'm saying he plays Korahome Commander. Now we can get another activation up top, and we know that there's Spell Pierce, Entreat, and something else, but I don't know that that last card is a 2. There's Entreat, there's Spell Pierce. Can't quite see what's on top.
I mean,
No,
you
resolved.
can consider breaking this.
And now he's going to entreat for... Is he just entreating for 2?
Yeah. Well, that's good for Joe. Evan could have dazed it.
Yeah.
I think maybe Evan should daze it anyway.
Force him to crack the fetch.
Yeah.
And we
Crack
know
the
there's
fetch
we
puts
know
Joe
there's
on
no
5.
2 on top either.
We don't know that for certainty, do we?
Well, I guess not for a certainty, but we know that he didn't counter the Korahome Commander. You know?
No. When he
Oh, you're
cracks the
saying
top,
he
when he
can-
cracks the land, there's no question. There's completely 3 new cards.
Right, that's what
So
I'm
we
just
don't
saying.
know that.
There's
That's what I'm saying. We don't know that for certainty. Now that he's cracked it, the whole universe is
absolutely. I was talking about him. There's not a 2 on top now, like before he cracked the fetch.
Well, directly on top of his library. Yes,
Right,
that's
to like
correct.
just counter the days right there. Like, but now that he cracks the fetch, I mean, at this point, blind flip, or he just got it and paid. I would have done a blind flip on the
Oh,
days.
yes.
Why not? Why not blind flip the days and just have a mana up? I guess it doesn't matter,
It
but
does
you
matter.
could, yeah, it does matter because then you can
It
activate
matters
top.
a lot.
Yeah, it actually matters a lot more than I was even thinking. But
So, what's Coral Home Commander's abilities? He doesn't get
he
Island Walk, does
levels. I don't think to Island Walk. He levels to a flyer, but he doesn't level to Island Walk. He just has Island Walk when Lords are around.
I think Evan's got to try to jam his Reejerey here. He has to try to jam his Reejerey and hope that Joe doesn't get
A free blind flip.
no. Well, not just a free blind flip, but he doesn't get a terminus. Because if the Reejerey resolves, oh,
Blind flip,
man,
timely
blind flip the
reinforcement.
3, and it's the worst 3 possible for Evan Erwin. Oh my goodness!
Wow, that was
what a beating!
that's actually the first miracle I've seen in the game. No, actually, probably not. Evan
All right,
did
so
keep
Joe
a
Rittner just gained 6
two-land hand that didn't
with
produce
no
colored
additional
mana.
men. Attacks with 1 guy.
So timely reinforcements from Rittner.
I think if I'm Evan, I pack at this point. There's only 14 minutes
That's
to
a
go.
good point. Yeah,
I throw
you
the
might
game.
want to go ahead and play another game.
This game's unwinnable.
Curse Catcher from Evan Erwin, and we're gonna go ahead and
It
take a
doesn't
look.
matter oh wait, so it does. I thought that the Reejerey was in play.
He does
Yeah.
not have anything. He can flip the top up.
Does the
counter it
Curse
if he
Catcher
wants.
make enough of a difference?
So if he flips the top up, counters the Curse Catcher, he's gonna have to redraw and replay the top. He does.
Counters a Curse Catcher. Island Walk.
And Lord of Atlantis,
Level.
giving the Coral Helm Commander Island Walk, and Commander is now level
He's level
1. He
So
did
he's
not
still
have
only
an
2/2.
Yeah, so just a
Gets in
2/2
for
Island
2.
Walker.
So does the Lord of Atlantis itself have Island Walk?
No.
right?
No,
It's
it's like other merfolk creatures get Island Walk, I think. Yeah, it's just other merfolk creatures get +1/+1 and have Island Walk.
so great resolution by Evan Erwin. I think Joe should not have flip topped on the Curse Catcher. It didn't make enough of a difference.
Yeah.
So if Evan levels max, he goes to 4+. He has enough mana for 4+. His guy will be a 5/5,
And,
right?
Yeah, Lord of Atlantis is a 3/3 right now, and actually, the Coral Helm Commander was a 3/3 as well from the Lord of Atlantis.
No, he'll go to 5/5.
But he'll
though,
go
right?
to 5/5, yeah.
It's actually, he might only have to level it to 3/3 flying
To get what he needs.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the right. I mean, obviously it depends very much on what he draws, what the optimal line is.
So it's funny we just mentioned about Evan packing it in, but I think he may have a way to win. You know what I mean? He may end up winning this because if like the few top cards on Rittner's library are not ways to deal with those guys. He can't block the Coral Helm Commander. He's got Island Wall.
Yeah, I didn't know that Evan had another Lord of Atlantis.
Yeah, I didn't realize it either.
I also didn't know that Rittner would flip top to kill a Curse Catcher.
Yeah. Well, I don't fault him too much for that because it's just like, hey, I can do it.
Yeah, but
Oh, look, he just packed it
Rittner
in.
packed?
Why?
I
Why?
think he thinks the Lord of Atlantis has Island Walk.
Yeah, he still had a way to.
So thank goodness Evan
stay in
Erwin
that
didn't listen to
game,
me
I
and
think.
pack it in.
Yeah, seriously. Wow.
But he doesn't know what his 4 cards deep is, right? No,
Right.
certainly the Coral Helm Commander would. I think he must think that Evan's Lord of Atlantis had Island Walk. It's certainly other, right?
Yeah. It's other merfolk creatures get +1/+1 and have Island Walk. So Lord of Atlantis does not have Island Walk, so it can be blocked. And not only that, but if so basically Evan just could not attack with Lord of Atlantis as long as there was one angel back, right? Because if Evan attacks with Lord of Atlantis, Rittner blocks, kills the Lord of Atlantis. Now
and
the
then doesn't
Coral
have
Helm Commander
Island Walk.
doesn't have Island Walk. So so one angel holds back the Lord, and Rittner can attack with another angel. His right at this point, the Coral Helm Commander's, well, it's tapped anyway, so it doesn't matter. So he could have been attacking Evan for 4 and keeping 1 angel back. Yeah, I don't like that scoop.